ladies, and welcome back to the Simply Mom Space. As you may or may not know, the Simply Mom Space is not about your kids, it's about you, the mommy. Today's video is going to be another car informative video. We're going to be talking about leasing a car. Last week we spoke about financing a car, and this week we're going to talk about leasing. So the difference are very simple. So if you watch the first video, you'll understand the second video. So here we go, we're jumping into leasing. You have to know how many kilometers you're allowed to drive. It is very important because what happens is every kilometer that you go over on your lease agreement will cost you. Sometimes it will cost you 12 cents, sometimes 15 cents, and that can add up, especially if you have a year left in your lease and you've went over in kilometers. Now, they give you a set amount of kilometers. That means a leased car should not be going on long road trips. It should not be for somebody who commutes an hour every single day. They normally will never cover that much mileage on a car. So you need to figure out how much kilometers you drive in a day before you go and you lease a car, and know that you cannot use your leased vehicle to go for a long trip or a road trip. Number two, you have to make sure that when you have a leased car, you have to be careful of damages, and you have to be careful when it comes to bringing it back. Because when it comes to bringing it back when you have to bring your car back to the dealership, when you're done, you're finished your lease and your lease has terminated, you have to make sure that there are no scratches on that car, because it will cost you for certain damages. If it's not a regular wear and tear on the car, you'll have to pay the difference in that. The next thing is you have to service your vehicle a certain way to be still covered by the lease agreement. Some leasing companies or car companies, they actually require you to go to their dealership to get an oil change. Yes. Or if you are getting an oil change, you have to give a certificate to say when and what time you've gotten your oil change, because there are set schedules for certain car maintenance that you do have to follow when it comes to your lease. Number three is you might get caught with a lower interest rate when it comes to a lease. But the interest rate only matters because you want smaller payments. But the buyback on a leased vehicle is actually not that great, especially if you've been paying for that vehicle for X amount of years. Most lease agreements last 3 years. That means you're driving a car for 3 years and you're paying monthly payments, but you still won't own it, because at the end of the day, when you're paying off that car and your lease agreement is done, you return the car back to the dealership. It's basically like renting a house. So think of it as financing, you are trying to buy a house and own it, and leasing, you're only renting it temporarily. Dear God, temporarily. Hopefully that is a word. My brain is telling me I'm saying it wrong. Anyways, but basically it's a temporary thing that you are leasing. Number four, when it comes to lease normally don't benefit the regular people. If you don't own a company, I would say look into financing or buying a used. Unless you drive a short distance every single day and it doesn't bother you to throw your money at something like, some people are okay with renting. Same thing. Some people are okay with leasing. But it's really great for companies because when you're leasing a vehicle, it's tax deductible. And you are able to put that in as a company expense, especially when it's a company vehicle. So it's good for companies, but not so good for the regular person unless you are not planning to drive your car a lot. Then the lower interest rate can benefit you, but know that at the end of the day, you do not get a car in the end. You bring back the car and you return it. If there are extra fees to pay, you actually have to pay it, and then you have to go and get yourself a newer car, or you can buy back that amount for whatever the car is valued at. And most of the times that evaluation is quite high. So you have to be careful when it comes to signing a lease agreement. The same thing for financing. Now, I'm not telling you that financing is better than lease or lease is better than finance. I'm just saying do your homework, and before you go and you sign that contract, know what you're signing and know what you're getting into. This is the video for today. If you have any more questions for me, you can leave a comment or you can ask me on social media. I will feel glad to answer. I'm very happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching this video, and like, subscribe, do what you do. I'm out.